Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nathan, and today we're going to talk about the concept of framing. Let's get straight into it. For the definition, the framing theory suggests that an issue can be seen from different angles and may have implications for various values or factors. The term framing refers to how individuals shape their understanding of an issue or alter their perspective on it. In the context of media, framing refers to how an issue is presented along with the author's opinion. These frames shape how media audiences perceive, assess, and understand a particular issue. Framing is often used in media to guide perceptions or interpretations. Let's have a look at a simple example. Let's say we have the exact same box of yogurt, but one says contains 20% fat and the other says 80% fat-free. People will be more pleased to know that they are consuming something fat-free rather than something that contains fat, which is why most products are framed like the image on the right side. Now, that example did not really touch the subject of media. It was just a simple way to understand the concept of framing. The next part, however, will discuss how framing is an incredibly impactful theory in media context. I would like to pick out a quote that I think is quite accurate about framing. Those with the power to construct and circulate frames, for example, the decision makers in the news industry, mostly emphasize specific facts to sway audiences to particular points of view. We do know that in this modern era of technology, the media can easily shape the way our audience think and react to certain issues. There are journalists, editors, producers, writers, or those who have the capability to create stories willing to tell only half of the truth or even produce false images of a matter to get more audience on the same boat as them. I can give you an example in the movie industry. This is a Spike Lee's movie, The Five Bloods, which tells the story of US veterans in the Vietnam War who returned to the country in modern days to retrieve the gold they buried in Vietnam during the war. On their journey, they encountered some fierce Vietnamese who were filled with hatred towards Americans. The cutscene here is partly censored due to heavy language. Please enjoy.
Hey, get that thing off of me! He's back on man. I don't know what he got. Come on, man. No!
Man, it's just a goddamn chicken.
You killed my father and mother!
Huh? What?
You killed my father and mother!
You don't know nothing about me, nigga.
As you can see, the Vietnamese man is portrayed as a person full of hatred towards the US veterans. He kept yelling, "You killed my father and mother," to show that the local people here still despise US soldiers. Or worse, this scene can frame Vietnamese people as xenophobic and quote-unquote can't let go of the past. On the contrary, this article on the official website of the Ministry of Information and Communications of Vietnam, we can see that the country is framed in a much more positive way. Vietnam is described as a friendly and hospitable country whose people are ready to say hi and lend a helping hand if you are in need. In this article, Hassan Kirumira, Ugandan parliamentary delegation said, "I find Vietnam to be a very beautiful country. When I grew up, what I knew about Vietnam was mostly through movies about war. But when I arrived here, I saw that this is a beautiful country, very beautiful with golden forests, silver seas, and I see a country that is industrializing very quickly." So let's compare these two different frames. The Five Bloods creates a perception for the audience that the Vietnamese are still full of hatred towards Americans because of the war. They can be overly aggressive and are willing to make physical contact with foreigners. The article, however, emphasizes the hospitality of Vietnamese people and the government's effort to enhance the experience of foreign tourists. Readers are urged to explore Vietnam's beauty, dynamism, resilience, and spirit. In these cases, The Five Bloods gives the audience a negative and hostile frame of Vietnamese people from the filmmaker's perspective. while the article provides a more official and positive frame from the perspective of the government of Vietnam. So in conclusion, media frames construct our reality. They emphasize certain aspects, downplay others, and evoke emotional responses. That's why those who own the power to navigate the media, such as journalists, advertisers, or communicators, bear the responsibility of ethical framing. Bias frames can perpetuate stereotypes, sway public opinion, and even affect policy decisions. Here is my question for you. The Five Bloods is an award-winning movie that does its best to ask for racial justice in the black community. But in that process, it also framed another nation in a negative perspective. Do you think that using a negative frame from one race to tackle another negative frame from a different race is justifiable? That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.